Mr. President.
Senator from Alaska.
Mr. President, I'm coming to the floor for the final time to give remarks about the Willow Project. I won't explain it. I'll explain it in a little bit in my remarks. The President is getting ready to make a decision, a huge decision on a big project in Alaska, really an inflection point for our state's future. He's likely to make that decision any day, Mr. President. So I'm just going to come down and kind of wrap up the arguments that we've been making. I really want to thank a number of folks. Senator Murkowski, of course, who with me, we've been focused on this issue for 2 years, the entire time of the Biden administration, 2 years, arguments every day, including a meeting with the President last Thursday. Congresswoman Peltola, who's done a really strong job in this regard, particularly in the meeting last week with the President. Some of my Democratic colleagues have been weighing in on this project. I really appreciate that. I know it takes a lot of courage. I'm going to talk about some of the far left, lower 48 environmental groups who don't support it based on nothing, no facts, no data, but to stand up to them, go to the White House and say, come on, Mr. President, come on, Biden administration, you got to give this, you got to make sure Alaska has this. So my Democrat colleagues, I know I'm not going to name you, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but thank you. Really, really appreciate this. As I mentioned, Mr. President, we had a meeting with the President last week, and I did, at the beginning of the meeting, in addition to...
Greetings, friends. It is official. President Biden has made a new announcement. There are over 5 ways that the Biden administration aims to increase taxes. In his new proposal, many economists insist that this plan will negatively affect thousands of low-income households. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video, because I'll be sharing with you what you need to know. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing 2 winners to say thank you for being part of this community. If you'd like to enter this Friday's giveaway, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. President Biden has laid out vast and expensive ambitions in his 2024 budget, from shoring up Medicare and boosting spending across the federal government to reducing the deficit by nearly $3 trillion over the coming decade. And to pay for it all, he has a long slate of tax increases. There are new taxes on the business world that would raise the rate on corporate income to 28% and levy new taxes on controversial practice of stock buybacks. The sprawling 178-page document also contains proposals for new taxes on wealthy Americans, from changes to how investment income is taxed to a revival of his billionaire minimum tax on wealth. Shalanda Young, Biden's budget director, said that this is the start of a healthy dialogue, which she pushed back on the idea that these tax increases would hurt economic growth in the years ahead if enacted alongside other aids. Deputy Director for the National Economic Council said during an interview, "This is a prescription for continuing the momentum that we have for the economy and putting us on a better fiscal path." Presidential budget proposals are largely symbolic efforts that are more about staking out a position over being enacted. But this year's version will serve as an important marker of Biden's priorities ahead of a debt ceiling fight and a likely re-election campaign. So let's go over some of the new taxes that President Biden is proposing. In his new budget, President Biden is renewing his long-standing calls for more taxes on corporate America. Biden wants to raise a corporate income tax rate to 28% from its current level of 21%. The White House maintains that this will ensure corporations begin to pay their fair share and will also be below the 35% rate that prevailed prior to the former president's tax cuts that were enacted in 2017. The president also renewed his call to quadruple the recently implemented excise tax on stock buybacks, which he first unveiled during the State of the Union address. On January 1st, a new 1% tax on share repurchases went into effect. The provision is currently set to bring in about $74 billion over the coming decades, and Biden is proposing to increase the rate to 4%. The budget also proposes scrapping tax breaks that oil and gas companies receive. The White House says this will save $31 billion. That move is sure to open up another front between the White House and oil companies over record profits. President Biden is also proposing new taxes on Americans who make over $400,000 a year. The president rolled out his most controversial proposal during this year's State of the Union address, with a potential new tax that would target wealth, not just income. Biden said no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or a firefighter. The president laid out new details on that proposal, with a call for a 25% minimum tax on households that is worth more than $100 million, as well as another idea to restore the top tax rate of 39.6% on single filers making more than $400,000 a year, and married couples who earn more than $450,000 annually. Finally, other tax ideas that were present in previous budgets were also revived for the 2024, including the push to end the so-called carried interest loophole and eliminating some tax breaks around real estate profits. Finally, other tax ideas that were present in the previous budgets were also revived for 2024, including the push to end the so-called carried interest loophole and eliminating some tax breaks around real estate profits. So all told, the various increases would fund nearly $3 trillion in deficit reduction over the next decade, as well as other Biden priorities. Among the budget proposals is the restoration of the expanded child tax credit that was enacted in the American Rescue Plan, but had expired December 2021 without being renewed by Congress. Republicans have been promising for weeks that President Biden's proposals will not pass, but it will nevertheless increase pressure on House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to offer his own proposal in the next coming months. Well, my dear friends, what are your thoughts about President Biden's tax proposals? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Well, my magnificent and marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, my dear friends, for being part of this community. And to say thank you, I will be announcing 2 winners every Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.